Houseplants are all the rage right now at the Family Tree Nursery. I bought a couple plants this week myself. Now, do you struggle keeping them alive? If so, today's Better Homes Report is just for you. I'll share a list of easy to care for plants and some tips to keep them thriving.
There's kind of a craze going on with houseplants because I think it just brightens everybody's life up.
We talked to Jonah Nelson at the Family Tree Nursery to get the scoop on how to take care of your houseplants. He says the snake plant is a good starter plant.
This would be a very simple, easy to care for plant that actually gives off a lot of oxygen and really helps purify the air.
The ZZ plant is also in that same category.
We call it the Easy ZZ. You can actually see this pot's almost like irregularly shaped because inside this pot it has these storage structures, these tubers that store water. And so similarly to the snake plant, it really doesn't require a whole lot. We talked about these first two, the snake plant and the ZZ plant, that are so easy. And this little philodendron would be in that same boat. You can just water this more often. So if maybe somebody's a little heavy-handed, this might be a better starter plant for them.
Knowing when to repot your plant is sort of a balancing act.
It's kind of the visual effect. Does it look like it's growing out of scale compared to the pot that it's in? The next thing is kind of checking the roots. Like this guy is tight in its pot. Well, these like to be tight in their pot. So different plants are going to have different needs.
Jonah says you run the risk of overwatering if your plant is in too big of a pot. If the soil around it stays wet for too long, it could start to rot. Keeping it in a smaller pot helps the soil dry out faster.
The biggest killer of houseplants is overwatering. So the easiest way to take care of them is to feel the soil. If it feels damp, wet, or moist, do not water it. Let it go dry.
Once it's dry to the touch, Jonah says give it a good saturating soak and let it dry out between waterings. The wet and dry cycle is what helps plants grow.
As long as we can continue to have growth to occur, then you can slowly, over time, incrementally increase the size of the container, which is what we want. We want our plants to grow. We want them to thrive. And that's what's fun about growing plants, is watching them really thrive in these environments where they're not native to.
Now, if your plants aren't thriving, it doesn't mean you have a black thumb. It just means you don't have the right information yet. Try reaching out to a garden center for help. We've added a link to the Family Tree Nursery with this story over on our website in case you need some more pointers.